Okay, so I've already made this ship and this video once, but at the time I was a lower level. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was working with limited parts. And I think it was among the first of my attempt at building ships. But now I've had a few more days with it. Now that I'm not, because at the time I was, working, but I've had some time off, so I've been able to really go all out with the ship systems and um, managed to get my character's level up high enough so I can have access to turrets. So this is uh, a remake of my attempt to make the Roscinate from the Expanse, which is a fantastic looking ship. And obviously, again, like I said in my last time I did this, and it's we're very limited on ship parts. Like obviously, you have to have a landing bay. You have to have a docker. You have to have certain things. So, like the top side and sides of a ship, I've tried my best with. But obviously, like the two turrets that are on the side, I wanted to put them actually on the side of the ship, but you can't. That's the best place I could get them. I can't get them so it's actually on the side. Um, so obviously this is as close as we're gonna get. The bottom is nothing like the Roscinate, but the top I've tried my best with. So with the last time I built this, I used all Nova Galactic parts, and they worked, but I thought they were a bit too smooth. So I tried to go for more rugged military luck, and obviously with Deimos, that's sort of what you get. So I tried to recreate the sort of like spines, but it didn't come out exactly the way I would hoped. But like I said, we're limited in parts, and I would have made this ship a little longer to try and get it all in. But this was this is the best I can get in. So I'm gonna go over everything in this, so you know how to build it yourself if you want to try and build it yourself. So you need to be a high level in order to get all the weaponry, but everything else you can get at pretty low levels. So it's all Deimos, Deimos cockpit, and then I got control station for crew members, all in one berth, and then a companionway at the back, which is where I've chucked the docker. And cargo space are limited because in order to have a lot of cargo space, you need landing gears, but too many, I had 3 landing gears on here when I had a ton of cargo space, so I had to put a docker on the top, which means I can have this sort of luck. And obviously, in order to get this engine, you have to have certain things and stuff. I did actually change out the grav drive to something smaller, but then I couldn't get the engine on the back of the ship anymore. So there's a lot of limiting factors in this game when it comes to actually trying to remake ships from sci-fi and stuff. So yeah, you got 3 halves in the middle of the cockpit here, and it's basically just a whole lot of structural stuff for you to put the weaponry. In order to have this weaponry, you need one of the C-class reactors. So in order to get a C-class reactor, if you're a lower level and you have access to turrets but not the C-class reactors, the best way to do it is to buy a ship that has one and then cannibalize the ship. That's how I did it at first. And also you need piloting skills to be able to fly them anyway. And then you got the grav drive. Really, it has to be one of the big ones. It doesn't really matter which one of the big ones. I chose this reactor because it gives you the most power with the best appearance. With grav drive, any of the big ones will do, so you can just shove the engine on the side. These were the only good-looking fuel tanks that I could find that would sort of fit the theme. Got a couple of cargo things. And yeah, it's a really simple build, this. So, for pilot-controlled weapons, I got my missile launchers, which I have 2. I have these turrets, which I have 4 of, and then these turrets, so I don't actually control these. They'll automatically fire on their own. And so there's a good thing and a bad thing about them. So obviously if you're playing on controller, I haven't even attempted a space battle on PC yet. So if you're playing on controller, obviously your missiles are usually controlled by your Y button. And, I always forget to press Y. I'm always just focusing on the triggers. So if you have access to turrets, it's a good idea to have, you know, one set of turrets on your wipe slot and then have your manual controlled weapons on your triggers. And turrets are fantastic because if you're surrounded by enemy ships, like say you got 3 enemy ships attacking you, you can focus on one and your turrets will focus on the other 2, which, you know, is nice. And some of my bigger ships, I have actually got like turrets all around. And I did record some videos on my other character, my United Colonies character, but the videos didn't save quite right, so I'm gonna have to re-record those. But yeah, like on some of my bigger ships, what I've essentially done is 2 of the weapon systems are all turrets, so there's only 1 lot of pilot-controlled weapons. And there's a few pros, like I said. If you're surrounded, they're pretty good because they can target the ships that you can't see. Another pro is obviously they can fight off to the sides and shoot behind you and things which you can't do. And there is a con. There's only 1 con that I found so far. And it's only a con if you're going for a specific type of playthrough. So if you're going for a pirate playthrough, you know, where you want to board enemy ships and take their stuff, or if you're going for a bounty hunt, you know, trying to board enemy ships and take people alive type of thing, yeah, those things aren't happening. Because even if you destroy the ship's engines to stop them from moving, so you can board them, the turrets don't stop firing. They'll just keep firing until the ship's dead. So if you're trying to do the whole boarding enemy ships things, turrets are not good for you because, well, they'll destroy the enemy ships before you can board them. But yeah, so this is my attempt to add a Roscinate build. If I could make it so I didn't have to have grav drives or engines, I could probably make this a lot smaller. Like I could probably bring this engine right in, or bring the halves out a little bit more, and then have like a dip in the middle of the spines, which is what they sort of have in the show. I guess I could attempt that now, actually, because I've got this one back here. Well, let's attempt that now. There you go, you get dip, and the problem is then there's no way for me to put this gun. So I can't have a gun on the top like they do in the show. Although, I do have a theory, so I'm going to do this now. I'm going to record me doing it so you can see if it works or not. But, so you can see that you can put stuff on these here. So if you go to Neon, which is where we're going to go now, you can get these weapon plates, which are really useful for, like, because sometimes there are certain parts where it says you can put stuff there, but you can't put guns there. But if you put a weapon plate there, it'll allow you to put a gun on the weapon plate. So we're going to try that, see if I can put a weapon plate on it, because that little square is about the right size for it. And then, once I've done that, if it works, I'm going to go off and we'll get into a fight, and we'll see how well this ship works. So you got a living area, and you know, a control room, and then that obviously leads out the ship. And actually, I don't think I've seen a demo's living area. I have, but okay, it's pretty sparse. Like, I'm gonna be honest, on my UC character, so on this character, I've gone for son of a bitch. I hate it. NPCs in Bethesda. Fix your NPCs when you walk into them. Make them move up the way or something. Same thing with whatever. It always get in the way. Anyway, so what's this saying? Alright, so on this character, I've used a lot of Deimos parts and stuff, and on my UC character, I've used a lot of Stroud Eklund parts, and I have noticed that the interior for the Stroud Eklund parts is much nicer overall. And while we're at Neon, I'm going to show you what is arguably the best weapon in the game. I'm not going to use it for a ship build, because obviously the Roscinate does have a lot of ballistic turrets on the sides. but it is arguably one of the best weapons you can get for your ship. And the best part is you can have 6 of them, or more than 6, I think, actually. Because obviously, usually you're limited to only having like 3 of one gun, but because it has 2 versions, you have a turreted version and a non-turreted version. You could technically have 6. Well, technically you can have 9 because there's an automatic and a non-automatic version. But the gun is just really good because you got this thing, right? So energy weapons do more damage to shields, but ballistic weapons do more damage to the hull. Alright? Well, this weapon does equal damage to both, making it very good. The only thing I've noticed, though, I think so far, is it has a limited range. So,
I know of more than one spacer who's gone missing after a night in Neon.
I should be able to get the weapons plates from this guy. I shouldn't have to go to one
Got
of the
anything
actual...
need to offload? Trade Authority is always buying. Here. Hey, what can I do for you? Okay, no problem.
Alright, let's have a look. So... structural. We got equipment plate. Yeah, so far so good. I can... let's put it on this one. Yeah, here we go. So it takes some finagling, but you can get to work. And obviously it's not going to be in line with these. There's like the ones on the Roscinate, they're all in line. And so it's not going to be in line, but hey, it works, right? Unless... Okay. There we go. That works. Alright. And I can go back to Deimos and get another one of these parts upon me, and then that'll do it. Okay, so there we go. That's how you build a Roscinate. Obviously, the back end isn't going to have any weaponry, but I mean, I can't. I'm just going to give it a go. So I'm recording through Twitch, and Twitch thing is blocking the power, so I can't see how much power those 3 turrets are using. So yeah, no, it uses too much power. That sucks. So yeah, while we're here, I'm going to show you one of the best weapons you can get. And I've only found it here. It's possibly at other places, but this is the place I found it the most. So these are good as well. These are fantastic weapons because they're the type of weapons where they do equal damage to shield and hull. I'm also a really big fan of these railguns. One of my ships on my UC build has a ton of these just all over it. In fact, it's just all railguns because they're fun. Yeah, is that what I got? Yeah, that's what I'm using. I will get there. These are really cool guns. If it wasn't for the fact I was going for a Roscinate build, I would probably be using these guns instead of the ballistic weapons I am using. So it is right towards the bottom for this one. There it is. So you got, so technically you could have 9 of these. So this one, as you can see, does 53 damage to both shields and hull. And then that one does 37. So that one's obviously a turret. And then you got the auto, which does 24. There is a problem. I don't think they have very good range. Because it says 3,000, but I've tried using it. And it does take a while for the turrets to start firing. So I'm guessing there is a limited range. But these weapons are so good. I've seen the turrets absolutely melt through ships. And that's pretty cool. I haven't actually used one of those yet. That's a beam weapon. I haven't tried the beam weapons. And the turret does a lot more damage than the regular. Doesn't usually happen like that. Yeah, so these weapons are fantastic. Obviously, you got missiles, and the best part is you can have up to 4 of these. So, you know, I always have a mix of like, so on the ship's website I have like mostly turrets. I'll have like 4 of these and then 3 of those ballistic ones. And then I'll have pilot controlled weapons, which will be something like this right at the front. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Deimos and duplicate that and have so there's not a gap by there. But yeah, that's it for this remake or revamp of my Roscinate build. And I slightly prefer this one because you get the dips. I was able to do in the last one. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.